Today, I'm gonna help you figure out if the Pixi Beauty and Weylie collab is worth your coins. Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jensine, aka Jungle Naps, and today, as you know, we're gonna be talking about the Pixi and Weylie collab. In this, you get a eyeshadow palette, more of like an everyday kind of eyeshadow palette, and a dual-ended liner that's black. It's got a felt tip on one side and a kohl tip on the other side. So before we get into this, I just want to say, if you're brand new to my channel and you love beauty videos, go ahead and subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss an upload. I upload 3 times a week, so you're bound to find something that you like on here. And if you're an oldie but goodie subby, here girl, it's so good to see you again. So let me go ahead and open up this package and we can go ahead and get into it. Now, the retail price on the set is $20. You can usually find Pixi at the drugstore, especially Target. I'm not sure where it's available internationally, but hopefully internationally it's the equivalent of $20 US. Now, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette first of all. I think that this is great for everyday wear, you know, work, school friendly, that kind of stuff. Now you've got 3 shimmers and 3 matte shades, and you also get a liner. Now on one side it's felt tipped, and the liner is very precise. It's a true black, but it also dries shiny. On the other side, you have a Kohl Liner that's definitely a true black. Looks like it's really easy to blend and smoke out as well. Now let me bring you a little bit closer and we can go ahead and try out this palette and the liner. Alright, so I've applied my base. I used the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine, and then I set that with my Fenty Beauty Invisimatte Blotting Powder. So in the palette, for the first transition shade, I want to use this shade right here, Potato. It's like a darker peach kind of color. Oh, here we go. You can see it right there. And I'm just going to use a blending brush. This is from Amoris, the 907 brush. It's just a crease brush. You can use any crease brush that you have. And I'm going to start off right up here. So this is actually really nice, as you guys can see. You know what this shade reminds me of? It reminds me of Sienna from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It blended out really, really nice and didn't skip over my base or anything like that. I'm really liking it. I love, love, love warm toned in my crease. I just think they look really beautiful on my skin tone. So I don't know, you guys can see, you probably can't see now. There's just a slight bit of kick up in the pan, but honestly this is a lot less than if you compare it to something like ABH or something like their palette. It's really, really nice. I find that so far on the first shade I don't have any fallout. So let's go ahead and move on to the second transition color. So this one here called Balm, it's kind of in that same like orange family, and I'm using my Sephora blending brush here. You can see the pigment that it picked up, and I'm gonna keep it right in here. Honestly, so far, like as I'm looking at it, it's really, really beautiful. Surprisingly, like now that I'm done blending, they almost blend into the same color. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's called Beauties, something like that. But I think I'm gonna do a halo eye. I got inspired, guys. So far, from what I've seen, from the way that the mattes perform and blend, I really, really like them. But you know, you gotta see how those shimmers end up, if they're popping or not. The shade ended up not being as dark as I thought it was gonna be. Like, okay, check it out. When you see it in the pan, it looks like it's gonna be really dark, right? But there it is on my lid. It's still pretty. I just expected darker pigmentation, that's all. Okay, so the color packed on pretty decently. Like I said, I just expected it to be lighter, but I didn't have a problem getting it on there. I'm just gonna blend out the edges. That way it doesn't seem so harsh. So for the middle, I'm gonna try this one right here. It's called Girl with an exclamation point. I like all these names, they're so freaking cute. Wow, so as you guys can see on my lid, this shade looks white, but in the pan, it's like a nice champagne shade, so I don't get it. I wonder if I add some with my finger instead of a wet brush, if that would change it. Kind of messed up my eye look. Honestly, guys, I'm not feeling that shade. God, it's so strange. It looks so white, but in here it looks so champagne-y. I'm gonna see if I can fix it. I'm gonna finesse it, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I kind of fixed it. As you guys can see, this was the eye right here. So this shade, Girl, exclamation point, I don't know what's going on, what they were thinking when they formulated it, because if it looks this shade, it shouldn't come out pure white. I mean, maybe somebody who's like on a fair end of the spectrum could use that shade for something, or like a brow bone like highlight or something, but I kind of expected better. I'm gonna try using this shade over here on the inner corner and see how that looks. I'm also using a Morphe M506. All right, now this looks pretty. You guys can see that right here. Really, really, really beautiful inner corner shade. I love that. Such a pretty color. I think with the dark brown shade here, it complements it really nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the liner. Just so you guys can see here, the liner is really nice and precise. I do have to let you know this straight off the bat, it does dry shiny. And I'm not about shiny liners. I don't know, they just don't look good on me. But if you do like shiny liners, I feel like you're gonna try this. But for the look that I'm going for, I want more like sultry, like smoky. So I'm gonna use the Kohl Liner side. So the Kohl Liner is like really precise. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm gonna get as close to my lash line as I possibly can. And then smudging it out with a Sephora Pro number 15 brush. So an update on the liner, I just wanna let you guys know, it applied really nicely. However, a trick that I use with all Kohl liners is that you take black shadow and you set it, you just kind of like smudge it over the liner. That helps it like stay, so it shouldn't be like moving around, smudging anywhere else throughout the day. I'm also going to go ahead and take that same black liner and go along my lower lash line, and I'm gonna try my best to do like a tight line and then like smudge it out for, you know, right underneath. Now it ended up tight lining really well, so I haven't smudged it out yet. So this is what it just looks like. I'm gonna take my little smaller smudge brush here and just go in really, really, really lightly. Okay, so there we go. I'm really happy with the way that things turned out. What I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and put on my mascara, my lashes, and then I'm going to be back and I'm gonna let you know my final thoughts on the collab. All right, so I completed the look and I actually decided not to go with lashes today. I feel like I'm going through a phase where I don't wanna add lashes because I have hooded eyes and I feel like you can just see everything clear on my eyes when I don't put on lashes. But I'm sure this phase will be very, very quick. Okay, so the palette. The palette I really love. Despite this one shade right here, this champagne-y shade, which I don't know what's going on with it, I think that it's actually really beautiful. I love how the look came out. I created a very like sultry, easy going out look, and I actually love these transition colors, although I feel like they're very similar. They blend out very, very nice. The pigmentation is there, but I'm like, when I blend them out, they just turn out into like one shade. You know, what's going on with that? I think my favorite shade has to be this one down here called Beautis. I think this one looks really beautiful, especially as an all over lid color. Also, another thing, the dual-ended liner here, I love the concept of it. I do wish that the felt tip liner dried like a matte black. like a true matte black. The color is true black and it does not skip. It's very smooth, but I think this is more of a personal preference. I personally do not like shiny liners, which is why I chose not to use it for the look. The Kohl Liner I really love. It goes on very smoothly. It blends beautifully. You can really like smoke it out, as you can see it on my eyes. I think it looked really like effortless. Now, when it comes down to the price point of the two, the liner and the palette, do I think it's worth $20? Absolutely, I think it's worth $20. I think if you're going to use this, you can see yourself using this palette as an everyday palette. Sure, why not? I think you're going to get a lot of uses. The only shade I didn't use is this like transition color, this brown color, but I think you can use this as a lid color and you can use it as a nice transition color. I'm pretty sure it's fine. The only one I didn't like is, like I told you, this color in the corner. It's very strange. I tried packing it on with my finger and with a wet brush, and it's not popping. I believe that affordable palettes are like, obviously they're bomb, but I think that it's more practical for the everyday person to afford, especially when you're talking about a palette that has like everyday kind of colors. As far as like a versatility with the palette, creating different looks, you know, I think you're a little bit limited with the palette, but I think that when Weylie created this, she was really trying to appeal to a broad spectrum of people. So obviously for somebody like me, you know, creating a lot of different looks from this is not really gonna be happening, but I do like what the options are that are available for me. Like I said before, I think it's definitely really practical. Now I will be reviewing the other two collabs in this collection. If you would like to see more affordable products, more drugstore products, don't forget to check out this video here. It's got a playlist chock full of some goodies. As always, don't forget that I love you. I will see you in the next video. Bye.